Hi there. This is Lee, and it's another installment of In the Moment, a series of impromptu conversations about life, the Gurdjieff work, and many other things. And as I continue to talk about joy and sorrow and glory, which has been the subject of a number of essays I wrote back in December of 2025 and which are publishing now, I just want to come back for a moment to what I said earlier today, June 2nd. And I know this is posting a few days late, so sorry about that. But I want to come back to what I said about feeling joy in the midst of great difficulties and feeling sorrow in the midst of the most wonderful moments when we ought to be feeling joy. And the way in which this is backwards, well, it's hard to understand, doesn't make sense. It does, however, relate to what Meister Eckhart said in the Book of Divine Consolation, when he pointed out that no matter what God's will was, if we were aligned with it, no matter how bad the circumstances, we would feel joyful. He goes on about this at great length in a number of sermons, and it does seem mysterious because when we're faced with great misery and suffering, the idea that joy should come to us is completely foreign. But I do think that Meister Eckhart was calling us to some completely foreign understandings of life and who we are. That's what makes his mystical sermons so quite amazing relative to many other things that have been said about the human condition. Because what he proposed, when he proposed that we embrace God's love, was a revolution, not some minor change in being. Anyway, here's the point that I want to make. When situations are terrible, perhaps what's needed in them is love and joy. After all, in bad situations, that's what's missing, isn't it? And it might come in much greater measure if we had an inner connection to this source of goodness that Meister Eckhart talks about so frequently. Might it not? You'll notice that in the midst of horror and extremities, natural disasters and war, suddenly, strangely it seems, in the communities that experience them, that it brings out a powerful goodness in them to help one another, something that is often missing when things are going quite well and the only thing we think of is ourselves. So the call for joy to enter sorrow is a strong one. And equally, when things are going quite wonderfully, there is a mystery to the sorrow that can enter then if we are within our sensation. That mystery is a mystery that gives thanks and calls us to prayer. Another thing that I'm sure Meister Eckhart would approve of. So in terms of the backwardness of my proposal, those are a few thoughts to try and straighten it out a bit, if that's even possible. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.